Hi everyone, welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Mrs. Griffith, an art teacher from Montana. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Hi there! So I'm Jennifer Griffith. My kids call me Mrs. Griffith. I teach at a K-8 elementary school in Montana. I also teach French and culture, but my passion is art. I'm so excited to be a part of the Artsonia After School Club to share that with you and to create some beautiful artwork. So enjoy and have fun and let's create. All right, so let's get started. I'm really excited about doing this particular project because I love to incorporate the wonders of our world and history into art and make it fun. So the first thing that we need to do is talk about our supplies. So we have scissors, a pencil, glue stick, some chalk pastels, different colors. We're gonna do a sunset, so I brought out some sunset colors. And then 2 colored construction pieces of paper, 1 yellow, and then 1 black. You could use an orange color if you wanted to. And I did go ahead and make all of my pieces the same size so that it would be really easy for the kids, if you had older or younger kids, to cut the sun. So to start with, stone circle or Stonehenge is an iconic symbol of Britain. It's a history spanning 4,500 years. It has a lot of different meanings to people. It's a wonder of the world, a spiritual place, and a source of inspiration. There's kind of some masterpiece in engineering that went around it, and if you're more interested in it, you can check it out. But let's go ahead and do a sunset over Stonehenge. We're going to separate our ground, which is where the Stonehenge is lying, and we're going to separate from the sky. So anywhere you'd like, you can just make a straight line across from one side of your paper to the other, and that is going to be a horizontal line going from one side to the other side. And at the top of that line is going to be our sky, and at the bottom of that line is going to be our ground. So next thing you can do is you can just take a yellow piece of paper, and you're going to start at one corner. And depending if you want the sun to be low in the sky, you could make it very small. If you wanted it to be a little bit higher in the sky, you could make it a little bit taller. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut from corner to corner. And if you're more comfortable in making a line to mark that, that's fine. I think my yellow's a little bit bigger, so let's do our beautiful oops here. It's right here, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut off that at an angle, and I'll have it match. So I'm going to take my glue stick and turn the microphone up a little bit, get that glue out there, and go ahead and put some glue on my sun so I can put it on my paper. And I'm going to turn my glue stick down so I can save my glue there, put it on, and then put my sun on there. So at this point in time, we're going to make our sunset with chalk pastels. They're a really fun medium to work with because you can blend them. So I'm going to start with just some colors, and I'm going to go over my sun a little bit, and then in the background here, I'm going to kind of go behind there. And I'm going to mix a little bit of orange, a little bit of pink, and I'm actually just making marks right now. And then maybe a little bit of red on the bottom there, and have it kind of go up to the top here. Maybe add some more pink. So as you can see, I'm using the side of the chalk pastel. I'm pushing it lightly onto the paper, and I'm leaving a little bit of white there so I can blend. Now, chalk pastel's chalk, so we end up getting a little chalk dust. And there's just this habit that we want to just swipe away our chalk dust. But as you can see, it's a little messy and it can blend. So I'm going to go ahead and blow away my chalk dust. That way, I don't have that chalk dust there. It's gone off into space, and then we can get vacuumed up or cleaned up later. So I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm going to start to kind of blend in my colors. The harder I press with the fingers, the more it's going to blend and take away my lines that I made. And the softer I press, maybe will give me some definition of some lights and darks for my sunset. So you can see that that is going a little bit over my sun there, maybe adding a little bit of color to that, and over to my edges so that I can fill in my white, because I don't have any white in my sunset. It's all very colorful. And once I do that, I may even want to go back and add a little bit of color somewhere, blend it in. I really like that red color. Might make it a little bit darker. I'm pressing a little harder right there. And I'm gonna do a little bit of that. So now I have the top part of my Stonehenge. And I'm gonna go ahead and take some brown here, and I'm just gonna, oh, look at that, I ended up with 2 pieces of paper. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some brown to the bottom of my Stonehenge here. And again, I'm using the side of my chalk pastel, and I've got some chalk dust. I'm gonna blow it away with my picture and blend that in so that all my white's covered. I don't want any boring white on my picture. I want some beautiful color. So this is called a background. I have my background now of colors and my sunset. I have a separation of my sky and my ground. And we're ready to add the Stonehenge. So we're gonna use the black construction paper. Right, so you can always look up some pictures of Stonehenge on the computer. And of course there's books and lots of resources at the library if you want. But this is the fun part of ripping paper. And the reason that we're gonna rip paper is because we need to make an organic shape. Stonehenge is rock. And rock is, we find in nature, and nature has a tendency to have more organic shapes than geometric. And so I'm just kind of ripping up paper here. I'm making some column-like pieces. I can rip in a line. I can rip them in half. I can make them kind of thin. And depending on what side of the Stonehenge you're gonna do is depending on the shape of your paper. So again, just kind of making some pieces to work with here. I have a organic kind of edge here, and then I have a more geometric edge here, so I'm gonna pull that off a little bit. So I've just got some strips of torn paper. And then I think I've got a good amount of torn paper here. I still have some left over, so you can get probably several pieces out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 construction paper. So Stonehenge is on the ground, so we're gonna go with our background. So we're gonna go ahead and start wherever you would like to start. And stones have 2 pillars, and then they have a stone that goes across the top. So I'm just gonna kind of maybe have my Stonehenge piece go to about right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and tear that off. And then I think I like that piece. I'm gonna make it a little thinner, so I'm just gonna tear a little bit more off this way. And then I have a geometric side there, so I'm gonna kind of give that a little bit of an organic side. And then I'm going to just kind of lay out my pieces before I glue them down. The nice thing is nothing's wet, so we can glue right away. It's a pretty quick project. It's also fun to include a little bit of history while you're doing it. I might have one start a little bit right there, and then I have a nice thin one to go on top here, and I will match that up, kind of just playing with my paper here. And then maybe I just have a stone that's kind of coming off the paper right there, and I will go ahead and rip that. The different places that I'm putting these is showing me that it's in different places on the earth also. So once I have that done and I kind of know where everything's gonna go, I'll go ahead and turn my microphone up for my glue stick and go ahead and just do one little swipe there would be good enough. I'm gonna have my pillars going underneath, so I'm just gonna lift up that edge there and stick it underneath. My hands are still have a little bit of chalk pastel on them, so they're getting a little bit on the black paper, but that's okay. We can always just take it right off. It's easy to get it on and off. All right, so I'm just gonna finish up here, put that there, and then since I have black paper on both sides, I can just put glue on there and then flip them. By the way, Stonehenge is in England, also called Great Britain. And so if you ever are interested or want to go and check out some historical wonders of our world, the Stonehenge is a great place to go. All right, so now that I have those started there, I'm kind of finished with my Stonehenge,